Well, don't we feel stupid? You'd think we'd learn the lesson the first time this happened to us, but no. Of course, the big difference this time, last time there was no one there to see it. This time there's 20 fishing boats out here watching us and talking to us on the radio and stuff. Once again, the lesson learned, anchor in deep enough water because the tides, a tide range of 20 feet will get you. And that's all I have to say about that.
You ready to talk?
Why not? So it's the 8th of July and we're leaving Whitestone Harbor where we shared the anchorage with, I don't know,
30 or 40 fishing
fishing boats, 5 tenders, a bunch of seiners.
We got in 7 o'clock last night.
7 o'clock last night, about an hour before low tide. Went behind the fishing fleet, back in the back of the bay behind the fishing fleet. Sounded the bottom. Our electronic depth sounder doesn't work anymore, so we're using a lead with a lead line. We sounded the bottom. We got 40 feet of water. An hour before low tide. Dropped the hook. Back down on it. Felt pretty good about that, having learned our lesson in Deep Cove.
So we thought.
At 8:07 this morning.
Well, actually, it started at 6:30.
Well,
because I woke up.
At 8:07 was a minus 3.1 foot low tide. The low tide the night before was a plus 0.8. Not that big of a deal. I figure we're in 40 feet of water, shouldn't be a problem. However, the wind picked up, and I was during the night, and I was concerned that we might drag because I only had at high tide, which was at 11. I had only 2-to-1 scope out. So I went and I let out some more scope. And that was our undoing. My undoing. Because at 6:30 in the morning,
we went bump.
We bumped. 6:30 in the morning was still an hour and a half till low tide. Sure enough, we jumped out of bed, tried to haul up to the anchor, couldn't haul up to the anchor, started the motor, tried to drive off the bottom, couldn't drive off the bottom.
Keep in mind, we were anchored in the middle of the bay.
In the middle of the bay, not way back in the pocket, right in the middle, right, you know, so. I thought we had plenty of water, but we didn't.
Well.
And the fishing boat just a couple hundred feet away was in 100 feet of water. The tender was...
And they were all around the edges.
Yeah, and well,
we were in the middle, and that just
so anyway,
didn't work.
there we are, laid over on our side, watching the rocks expose. And the tender from fishing vessel Liahona came over with the skipper, who is Dan. And dropped off some cookies in a thermos full of tea.
Got as close as he could and chucked me a thermos full of hot tea, which I'd been sitting outside on the rail for about an hour by that point. We were heeled over pretty good.
In the rain. In the rain.
And I'll tell you, life looks a little rosier with a cup of hot tea and a couple of chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah. So he invited us over for breakfast, so an hour later, when there was a little bit more water for him to get close to the boat, he came back and picked us up and took us over to his boat, Liahona, where we met his crew. Amelia, the cook.
And George and Ethan.
Amelia whipped up a wonderful breakfast. I don't know, potatoes and fish and...
halibut and potatoes and tomatoes and
some fresh bread and...
Really good.
And some coffee, and we just...
It just made our day that much better.
We chatted with the crew, looked at his charge, talked to him about the fishing, different anchorages. He showed us a couple places as they always do, a couple places. They asked us if we needed any fish, which we turned down because...
We don't.
We're
going to be in Hoonah this evening.
And so now we're on our way to Hoonah.
So before we move on, let's say one more thank you to the crew of Liahona.
Yes, thank you Mahalo nui loa, as we used to say in Hawaii, to the crew of Liahona of Ketchikan. Dan, Amelia,
George and Ethan.
George, and Ethan.
Thanks, guys. So, on to Hoonah.
On to Hoonah.
we should be there in what?
About 4 hours.
3 to 4
About
hours.
3 hours, 4 hours. It's from here I don't have the distance on there, but it's about 18 miles from the start. We're about 3 miles in, so we got about 15 miles to go. Right now, 5.4 knots.
And it
So
looks
about
like we're
3
going to get
hours.
some beautiful sunshine, but it's sprinkling a little
Sunny
bit.
and showers. There's showers coming from over there. The forecast is for 20 knot winds in Icy Strait from the southeast.
That's not what
Right
we're seeing.
here, we're right at the junction of Chatham Strait and Icy Strait, and there's nothing. Maybe 5 knots at the most, if that. So anyway, we're just gonna motor around the corner here to Hoonah,
Hopefully uneventful.
hoping for a very uneventful passage.
I'm going to go below and make a cup of coffee. I need one.
Yeah.
And I think there's one more chocolate chip cookie left. I was just thinking that. Excellent. Or is that the one over there?
Oh, that's it over there. I think that's it over there. Well, that looks like it. Either way, we can go on either side.
Yeah, that's the transit right there.
Yeah, which side do you want?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me.
Right over here, opposite that little sea dory.
Okay.
Okay. Got the wrong fender here.
Yeah, the wrong fender.
It's got a short rope. It's okay, no problem.